gonna make sure that, yay, awesome. So we've got this recorded and we're just gonna get going. All right, y'all. So my wonderful husband is here. He is going to be making sure that everybody gets admitted, and he's going to be running slides for me. He is away right now, so if y'all don't know this, he's active duty Army, and so he's away. And luckily, this all worked out well. He's kind of got some off time to help me with it. So, if you have already been on one of my coaching calls, so this is what I'm going to start doing. Okay, I'm going to start making these a little different each time, because the thing is, this is for all of my customers. Okay, so this is for anybody who has started with me all the way back in July of last year. And then I have people that have that are still with IPS that haven't transitioned over to Legacy. And then I have started opening this to give y'all the buy-in option as well to get access to this training. And so I want to start doing different calls. So like today is going to be a launch to profit call. I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to do some coaching on lives as well in future trainings. I'll do coaching more on content creation, but the goal of this specific call, I want to get you guys making money. Okay, and I know that that's what everybody's here for, right? And so the very, very first thing that I want to always address here is I want you guys to understand this is not a tech call. Okay, got it in the comments if we're good on that. Okay, I'm not a tech person. There is a reason that we have all of the tech help inside of our awesome, amazing community. There's tech calls there, and I will very quickly just kind of run through where to go to get all of that tech help, those tech resources. That means if you need help with Stripe links or GoDaddy or your domain or any of that, that is not my window of like whatever I'm trying to say. You get it, okay? So my window of expertise is what I'm trying to say, okay? So Jared, you can go ahead and pull up the first slide, and this is going to kind of give you the breakdown of what I'm going to go over here. So say yes if y'all can see this. He just started sharing the screen, okay? This is going to be like the breakdown of what we're doing, okay? Feel free to screenshot this. So I'm going to go over where to go for tech help, what to watch before you start marketing. Then I'm going to get into let's make money, my recipe for success, creating content that converts to sales, hook ideas, my content recipe. This is like my secret sauce, y'all. Okay. How to have the best lives, what content to make before you have made a sale, how you can make a sale this week. And then, you know, the big question right there, will you commit to this? Because this goes down to the whole, I can lead a horse to water, I can't make you drink it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing for me to sit here and give you literally all of my tips, my tricks, my advice, and everything that I have done to make multi six figures. But then it is going to be up to you to put this to action. Okay. So Jared, go ahead and go to the next slide. Also, I should tell you guys, I always leave room at the end to answer your questions. If you put questions in the comments, I cannot see them because I go very squirrel brain. So I just try to stick to the slides, and then I will always answer questions at the end. Okay, so first thing to go over, where to go for tech help. Remember, all of this is going to be in school, which is the DGC community. If you are brand spanking new, that's going to be inside of your program at the very top. It will say Access Community. This community is a lifeboat for you, okay? This is where all of the extra mentorship and training and support is going to be. So if you ever get lost along the way, like, the community is a lifesaver, all right? So this is where to go for tech help. You are going to click Classroom and then utilize the search bar for everything. Y'all, I need you to understand, I never had anybody mentor me. I never had anybody hold my hand. I was just resourceful. We have the resources, so you need to be resourceful, okay? So that's where you can click Classroom, use the search bar to search for anything. Example, Stripe, payment links, domain, GoDaddy, whatever. Okay. And so when you do that, it'll give you videos that relate to that. You can also go into how to create payment links, or, you can type out whatever you need. If you can't get your answer there, move on to step 2, click community, and then search there. Move on to step 3. If you still don't get your answer, ask your question in school. Okay. Get on a tech Zoom. These are all listed in the calendar inside school. The calendar, y'all, you need to be utilizing that every single day. You should always know what is happening inside of the community. And that's all going to be in the calendar. Yes, Gary, these are recorded. Yep, tech Zooms are always recorded. And then go to Classroom, watch the tech replays under the tech module, okay? And then you can also go to members and search customer support. And you can message them. And then the very last thing that I always put on here, okay? If you want to pay somebody to just, like, if you are not set up yet and you're like, oh, even though this is 90% done for you with the tech, there's still a little bit of tech, but if you're just like, I don't want anything to do with it, you are more than welcome to message any of these 3 people and they will set it up for you for a cost, okay? All right, next slide. Let's go. What to watch before marketing. All right, now that we're crystal clear on how I am not a techie person, so say now this is where you are all set up, you are ready to rock and roll, like you've got your website created, your funnels are all connected. Now you're like, all right, what do I do first? Yeah, Jamie's on here. There she is. So what to watch before marketing. Number 1, go through the videos in your program at your leisure, right? You got the program for a reason. Y'all hear me out, because I understand that we are all here. We want to know how, or we want to start making money. You know what I mean? And a lot of us are just like, okay, I want to dive in. I want to make money as fast as humanly possible. Okay. You need to understand this is not a get rich quick scheme. So you have to go through the training to learn the skills to market, right? So go through the videos in your program at your leisure, but these are the most important ones to watch. Now tell me in the comments, is everybody planning to market on TikTok? TikTok, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I coach on TikTok because TikTok is the most organic reach. It is the fastest way for you to scale your business. It is the fastest way for you to make 6 figures. It is the fastest way to get a following, and all of these things. But I'm going to tell you, and I'll go more into this in a little bit, do not focus on views. Do not focus on going viral, okay? If you do that, that is where you are going to feel defeated. Don't focus on comments on your videos or anything like that, okay? And I'll go more into this later on. But yeah, okay, if you plan to market on TikTok, you need to watch these trainings before you ever start posting. Number 1, go to school, click Classroom, click social media training. Watch all of my trainings in there and Michelle's first videos to create, okay? And then go to school, click Classroom, click mentoring Zooms, and then watch the last one I did in there to learn how to do lives, all right? And then inside your program, watch the storytelling training. Y'all, I should have prefaced this. I'm sorry. When I did not preface this in the beginning. Jared, can you go off the slide real fast? Sorry. So I should tell you guys, how many of you, does everybody in here have one of the legacy programs? Yes, that could be the Launchpad, Passive Daily Profit, Digital Mastery, or Legacy Builder. Is there anybody on here that still only has IPS? IPS is what I did, what I started with in July. And then I know that Sue Johnson, what is IPS? Perfect, you're in the right spot. So IPS was Infinity Processing System. That is the course that I initially started with. Most of us started with IPS, and then what happened was Michelle created Legacy, and so we all kind of upgraded there. So if you are just now starting, like if you have started since, I would say since like April 1st, you only know Legacy, which is awesome. And it is so much simpler, so much easier to follow. But if you only have IPS, then I would highly recommend upgrading to like one of the Legacy programs, because it's so much easier to follow. Okay. Yep. You kept hearing about IPS. Yep, exactly. All right, Jared, go back to that slide. Sorry. I just want to preface that. Let's go. All right. Yeah, so number 3 in your program, watch the storytelling training. Also, that is only available, it's not available in the $100 program. Okay, so that's not available in the Launchpad, which is why I am so transparent to a fault with people. Okay, I personally never recommend the 100 to anybody, because I believe there's so much value in that storytelling training. So and I talk about how, like, most people, they don't like, the greater the risk, the greater the reward. You know what I mean? That's always been my mindset. That's why I'm very much a go-getter, and I'm like, if I'm going to make something work for me, I am so much more motivated when there's money on the line. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't ever recommend the 100 to anybody. All right, so start watching the storytelling training, and then go to school, go to classroom, and start the 90-day run. Capiche? Capuche? Let's go. All right, next slide. And y'all feel free to like screenshot these to come back to. All right, now setting up your social media account for success. Y'all, this is so stinking important, because there's tons of people that are like, oh, well, I already have a TikTok account, so I'm just going to use the one that I have. No, if you do that, you're going to fail. I'm so brutally honest about this, okay? And it's because when I started marketing on TikTok, here's what I did. My original account, I have 36,000 followers over there. I made nothing, a big old goose egg, when I started posting over there. In my mind, I thought, oh, more followers equals more sales. And that is not true. Those were not my ideal customers, okay? So this is why it is so stinking important for you to start brand new, all right? So if you already have an account with a following, or you use it for fun, start from scratch. The algorithm is against you, so you need to start fresh, all right? The goal is to reach your ideal customer. Look at number 2, y'all. Can y'all see this? It is so important. Only use your new digital marketing account for your business. Use a personal account for all the fun videos you like to watch, okay? Like, only use that one to watch all of those cute baby videos, the cute cat videos, like all of those things. Because here's what happens. If you watch those fun videos on your TikTok account that you use to market your business, it's going to mess up your algorithm. Because, and I know every time I say this, it can be so confusing for people, okay? You don't want to interact with your ideal customer, all right? You don't want to interact with your ideal customer. I know a lot of people are always like, what? Isn't that like the whole point? No, you want to interact with digital marketers, because here's what happens. When you interact with other digital marketers, then you are, what's actually happening is you are reaching the people who are interested in digital marketing. Y'all, this is the way the algorithm works, okay? Because think about it this way, because when people are always like, well, is digital marketing oversaturated? No, that's the content that they are watching. That's the content that they are interacting with. So when you interact with digital marketers, then you are getting pushed onto the people's FYP who are interested in digital marketing. I hope that makes sense, okay? So keep your accounts separate for watching those cute, fun cat videos and the baby videos and all the like cooking videos, all those things, okay? I know, I don't know why I always say cat videos. Anyway, okay. So the very first thing that you need to do, like once you create your account, you need to follow other digital marketers and do this. And you only do this when you create your account. You don't need to do this every single time. It's just when you're creating your account, okay? In the search bar, you are going to, you're going to type in stay-at-home business, and then you are going to follow, like, and comment on the top 5 videos that come up, okay? And then you will type in digital marketing, and then you will follow, like, and comment on the top 5 videos, and then making money online, okay? And then same thing, follow, like, and comment. You only do that right when you start your new account, okay? This is going to tell the algorithm to get the people watching those videos to watch yours too. Think about it this way, you are working to get on your customer's algorithm, not working the other way around, all right? Next slide. So let's make money. We ready? Are we ready to learn how to make money? Capiche, capuche, okay? This is my recipe for success. And I know like this is very, very, very general. I'm going to deep dive into this, okay? But this is what you need to commit to every single day. Number 1, create 2 to 3 pieces of content. Those are my videos a day. Number 2, go live a minimum of 4 times a week. Number 3, plug into training daily. It is that simple. Okay, Jared, go off of the slide so I can talk about this for a second, because I need to be so crystal clear with you guys about why this works this way and about the consistency level with this, okay? So to give you guys like a visual, in April, I made $89,000 for the month. In May, I made $87,000 for the month, okay? And I need y'all to understand, I showed up every single day doing those 3 things, okay? Then what happened? In June, I made, what was it, like 33 or 34,000. And so people would typically be like, well, why did it dip? Here's why. I wasn't consistent in June. I can always pinpoint when and why that happens, okay? So for example, the first half of June, we went on a family vacation and I didn't work at all. Like I was unplugged, I was present, and that's okay. It is okay. But you need to understand that when you decide, because it is a decision to not show up for your business, then there are going to be results that are like that, where you're not seeing that the results that you want, basically, okay? So, and this is why I say you have to do all 3, because they work together. It's like baking a cake. If you don't put eggs in your cake, you're not gonna see the cake that you wanna see. You know what I mean? Michelle talks about it with baking all the time. So for some reason, that's just what comes to mind. But that's why. And so here's what happens. I get messages from people that say, oh, Victoria, I've been posting every single day for 2 months and I haven't made a sale. My initial question right back to you is going to be, well, are you going live? Well, no, I'm too scared to go live. Okay, you're leaving the eggs out of your cake, you know? Well, are you plugging into training? Here's what happens too, y'all. People lie to me. Be honest with yourself. It's not going to benefit you at all if you are dishonest with me, you know? So when I ask you, are you plugging into training? Be honest with yourself, because I don't like to do this. But whenever somebody comes to me and they say, well, like, yeah, I'm doing it, I'll go and search your name. Okay. I'll go search your name in school and I can tell right now if you actually are. Okay. It's super, super easy to find that out. So be honest with yourself. It is a recipe. You have to do all 3 of those things. Tell me in the comments if you are already in the community and you do all 3 of those things every single day. Every day. Who does? Look at that. Shirley does. I saw Shirley. Shirley's seeing results, aren't you? I know she is. I see her all the time. Yep. So be honest with yourself, okay? Next slide, Jared. Yeah, I see it. That's okay. If you haven't opened your TikTok yet, that's okay. All right. This is why all three matter. Exactly what I said. This is like a recipe. If you are making a cake, would you get the same result with just water and cake mix? No, you would not. All right. So this is why. Okay. Yep. Plug in a training every single day, Roberta. Absolutely. This is why all three matter. The training is to teach you how to market. It is to teach you how to attract customers to you. Okay, that's why that is so important. The lives, this is where you get followers and leads. This is where so many people get hung up on content creation. All right, so many people are like, well, I'm not getting comments on my videos. That's okay. Well, Victoria, I'm not getting more than 200 views on my videos. That's okay. Do you guys understand? It took 9 months of me in this business to have one video go viral, but I had already made 200 grand, and it's because I was consistent. Okay, viral videos don't matter at all. Going over 1,000 views doesn't matter at all. I had reached 200 grand in sales when my videos were only at like 100, 200 viewers. Okay, so you need to understand, by going live, I do 2 things every single time I'm live. Who can tell me what it is to get followers and leads? Because I know y'all have seen my lives. Who can tell me what I do to get followers and leads? Anybody? After the follow, right? Exactly. I say it over and over. I'm like, you guys, if you're new over here, do 2 things for me real fast. Smash that follow button and go to the link in my bio. Y'all, when you tell them to do it, they do it. You guys see what I just did too? Do you see what I just did? I asked you to engage. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm telling you, like, what do you see me do? And y'all are engaging, right? This is no different. You need to seek out the engagement. You can't just go live and just expect that people are going to sit there and like talk to you. I mean, I say it all the time. Whenever I have a live that's quiet, because I have people that don't talk to me. I sit there and I'm like, well, this is awkward. I'm going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs and I'm going to wait for somebody to comment. But I'll go more into this in the training that I do on lives, on how I get engagement and how I get that interaction, because there is a recipe to it. But you have to understand that the lives are where you get the followers and leads. Stop focusing on trying to get leads from content creation. Okay. So then going back to like the next part of that slide, then what are the content videos for? The content videos are for those followers, because what happened? Since the majority of your content is not going to be pushed out to the FYP, right? You have to understand 95% of your content is only going to hit your friends list. Okay, so stop focusing on the 5%. Stop focusing on that 5%. The 95% that see your videos are going to be your followers. Okay, so what happens is when you go live and you're telling people, hey, hit follow, guess what? Most people are not going to stay on your live the whole time. A lot of people are just scrolling. So what's going to happen? When they hit follow and then they're caught in their scroll like tomorrow or the next day or so on and so forth, they're going to start to see your videos in their newsfeed because they're following you. Okay? So most people are not impulse buyers. Y'all tell me in the comments, how many of you bought the first video that you saw, or the very first live that you saw of somebody talking about digital marketing? Or tell me how long it took you to purchase. I would love to hear this. Y'all, drop me a comment. Let me know. 2 weeks. Yep. Couple weeks. Exactly. 5 weeks. Yep, I see this. 6 months, Paige. Exactly. Y'all, it took me 2 months. This is why it is so stinking important to get the followers on the lives and then keep showing up the content videos in your business, okay? Because that's how you're just going to keep popping into their news feed and reminding them, hey, I'm here. I've got a really sweet opportunity. I'm here. I'm here. Okay. That's how all three of them work with the recipe. Okay. Next slide, Jared. All right. Here's how to have the best lives. We ready? Take a screenshot of this, my friends. Number 1, you always want to post a video before you go live. Always, 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 always. The reason for this is because as soon as you post a video, it's like TikTok will just kind of push it out to the FYP just a little bit, not to the FYP, but it's going to see how much interaction your video is going to do. And so then as people start watching your video, they see that little red ring around your face that says, oh, they're live. So they're going to see your video and then they're going to pop into your live. Okay. Usually that's the way it works. Also interact with other digital marketers for about 10 minutes before you go live, and then turn the energy on as soon as you hit the live button. Y'all, and I know that this is awkward. I know it's awkward. I do it every stinking day. I did a live. So my live today, this is one of my shortest lives. I did a live for probably like 15 minutes. I typically recommend lives being 30 minutes minimum. This was a short live today. I've got family here, whatever. It is what it is. But what I do is as soon as I hit the live button, if y'all have seen me live, you know I've always got my coffee. And I'm just over here like, hey guys, happy Friday, how's it going? When there's nobody on. Crickets, right? Like, and so the reason that I turn the energy up right away is because that is how you're going to get somebody to stop their scroll for you. Now, was I always like this? Because here's the other thing. It's so normal. It is so normal that I hear, oh, well, Victoria, I wish I had your energy. I wish I was as outgoing as you. Okay. Here's the thing. How many of you have ever seen the video of the very first live I ever did? If not, it's on my TikTok. And this was the very first live I ever did about 8 years ago with the MLM that I was doing. All right. And so in that video, if you have not seen it, I was so stinking awkward. I was the girl. This was me. I was like, hey guys, I'm going to give it a minute and I'm just going to wait and see if anybody hops on here. Okay. It's really quiet here. I wish that, I wish there was music. I'm just going to wait. How many of you would stop for me? How many of you would just scroll right on by? Okay. That is the way that you need to envision TikTok is. Okay. Everybody's like caught in their scroll. They're just scrolling. Goodbye. And then they're scrolling. They see you and you're like, hey, they're going to stop and listen to what you have to say. They're going to be like, who is this weirdo? You know what I mean? But what you see now is called growth. It takes time, my friends. So you cannot compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. My journey started 8 years ago when I was that quiet, shy, awkward girl with my MLM. Okay. And now the reason that I get loud and fired up and passionate is because I found a gold mine opportunity, and you did too. And you better start speaking like it. You better start speaking like it, even if you haven't made a sale yet. And I know that's hard. Because that was me in the beginning too, right? You also have to understand, when I started digital marketing, I started at 0 too. Michelle started at 0 too. Amy, Tim, we all started at 0, okay? but we believed in the process enough to speak it. So let me go back over here. Okay. So like I said, turn the energy on as soon as you hit the live button. So then to get engagement, you're going to ask for it. Ask questions, give options. So if you've been on my lives, you've seen me do this. One of the first things I'm going to say is if you're new, say new. If you're an OG, say OG. OG is original gangster. If you don't know this, I had somebody ask that on one of my last lives. They're like, what is OG? But I do that. And then I'll say, drop me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Y'all, even if there are 2 people on there, say it. Okay. Because even if you get 1 person interacting, it's going to like push it out. So your goal is to get people interacting. You can tell them tap the screen. Some people don't like commenting. That's okay. But you need to start telling them what to do. Tell them to go to your link. People they need to be told what to do sometimes. Because sometimes they're just watching you and they're like, okay, well, I like what she's saying, but I'm going to sit here and just watch. You need to tell them. Tell them hit follow. Tell them go to your link. Tell them to comment. Tell you where they're watching from. If they're new, if they're an OG. And then I start asking questions. I do this every single time. And I have a whole script. I'll go over this in one of my next coaching calls with the script that I use on my lives. Okay, yes, Jared, exactly. My CTA, I do it on my lives, call to action. But I go over this in my live trainings as well with like the whole script that I go through. But I will always start with, all right, I want you guys to drop me a 1, 2, or 3. You guys have heard me say this. I say, leave me a 1 if you have no idea what digital marketing is. Leave me a 2 if you think it's just a bunch of people reselling courses. Leave me a 3 if you think that it is an MLM or a pyramid. And so then I go backwards and I address how it's not an MLM. And then I address how it's not just reselling courses. Okay. The way that I explain this, and I wish that more people explained it this way, because I do think that a lot of people do think that it's just a bunch of us reselling courses, and that's not true. I have a ton of customers who are business owners who wanted to create their own product, and they don't care to resell it because what we have is educational value. I hope y'all understand that. It's not just a program to teach people to sell a program, okay? Exactly. There are so many confused, and that's why, y'all, I did a video yesterday. Feel free to, I would never say duet it, and I'll explain why. You only want to duet viral videos. I'll go more into detail with that in just a little bit. But you can recreate it. Like, I do this all the time. I'll see somebody talk about something and I'm like, ooh, that's a really good video. And then I'll go recreate it. Okay. But a video that I did yesterday was on, is everybody just reselling courses? Well, no, they're not. That's not what digital marketing is. And I say, I have 3 types of customers. I have business owners is number 1. I have people that want to learn how to make their own digital products. That's number 2. These people, they don't care about reselling anything. And then the third group of people, these are people like me that want to learn how to make 100% profit by marketing a program. Okay. So that's what I do on my lives. I get people to comment 1, 2, or 3, and then I address that. All right. And then I'll go more in detail in my next training on lives, like my whole script. Okay. Where was I at? So what to talk about? Oh, there it is. Basically what to talk about: who you are, why you started, the cost, 2-hour workday, show the program, show wins, y'all. And so with doing these things, give them options. Okay. It's a way for you to get interaction. So I'll say, y'all drop me a comment if you want to know cost first, or do we want to go over my 2-hour workday first? Okay. That is my agenda. That is my agenda. All right. So I talk about who I am. I talk about why I started, but then I give them an option on the cost or 2-hour workday. Do we want to see the program, or do we want to see when? Give them options, because that gets them interacting. Okay. And then if needed, get live buddies. What I mean by that, y'all, is I've had so many people that will buddy up and they will just say, hey, like they'll get like 5 of them together. And what they do is they hop on each other's lives to show support. It does not mean you need to do a live together. I forget, what is that called? Where people, it's not battling, they're just doing lives together. I forget what that's called. But just hop on in the comments and support each other. Please, for the love of all things holy in this world, never, ever, ever jump on, co-hosting. Never, ever jump on somebody's live. I shouldn't even need to say this, but I've had to say it so many times in the community. Never jump on somebody's live and be negative. Never jump on and say, it's been 12 weeks and I haven't made a sale or something like that. Like, or Victoria, what do? I've been posting blah, 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 and I haven't made a sale. Y'all, you need to be respectful and understand that when people are going live and when people are creating content, they're doing their 2-hour workday, okay? And so be mindful that it is not helpful if you are hopping on with your negativity, okay? That's like hurting their sales. You need to take a look at yourself and what you're doing wrong instead of hopping on somebody's live or their video, okay? All right, next slide, Jared. All right, creating content that converts to sales. Okay, so we went over, I hope we're crystal clear on this, that you are not creating content to get leads and followers, okay? If you do get leads and followers from it, it's just icing on the cake. It's an added bonus, right? I have had several videos now that have gone viral, which is awesome, but the majority of my videos are just people from the community commenting, which is totally fine, right? But I don't have that mindset where I'm creating content to get leads and followers, okay? But you want to create content that converts to sales. So number 1, you need to talk about who you are and who can you relate with. Write down 3 things. If you have not already done so, write down 3 things, okay? For me, people know I'm a boy mom. They know I'm an Army wife. And they know that I spent 7 years in an MLM. Okay, those are my 3 things. So I talk about those, but I keep it general and then I go more into detail with each of them. So for example, like if one of your things is I'm a mom, okay, what kind of mom are you? Are you a working mom? Are you a stay-at-home mom? Are you a mom that wants to take her kids to Disney? Are you a mom that wants to go jump on a trampoline in the backyard with their kids and make 900 moms? Autism mom, yeah, too, Stephanie, my oldest. And so that's like another thing that I go into detail about is I have 2 boys that are special needs. I have a tiny tornado, like a little toddler, okay? All of that, right? And then so go more into detail about that. Number 2, use hooks. Use hooks. This is so stinking important because if you please never, ever, ever start a video where you say, hey everybody, good morning. I am about to head to the store. They're gone. They're gone. They're scrolling. They're gone. You have 2 seconds to get somebody to stop their scroll for you. Hooks are going to do it, okay? Always include a call to action at the end. So that's like saying, so if you want to know more info, say ready. Or if you are ready to learn how to do this, drop a 1, okay? Something like that. Number 4, you have to be believable. This is, y'all, this is what I was talking about, right? Where like I was believable before I ever made a sale. And so like the very first post that I ever did, I was like, what did I say? I think I started it and I said, I found a thing, okay? I hadn't made a sale, but I was like, y'all, I found a thing and this thing is going to change my life. I sat back and I watched this girl make 40 grand in 2 months doing this digital marketing thing. And I listened to her talk about how she was averaging 900 a day by only working 2 hours a day. And I am so stinking excited because this is going to get my family out of debt. This is going to allow me to take my family on vacation. This is going to allow me X, Y, and Z. Before I ever made a sale, I was believable. And it's not about like the results that you've had. It's about the belief that you are instilling into somebody about the process that works. Because when people understand that you believe the process works, guess what? They're going to believe the process works. Okay. And be a share person, not a sales person. So y'all, what I mean by this is if you're creating content and you're just like, hey guys, so do you want to know how to make 900 a day and only work 2 hours a day? Say me if you're interested. That's not believable. And that's just selling the business. When I'm talking about being a shares person, this is where you need to connect with your customer. This is where you need to talk about your 3 things, okay? I'll go more into detail in just a second on hooks that I use, but I'll give you one of them right now as an example where I used this one before where I said, did you know that 61% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck right now? 61%. What happens right there? Guess what? Every single person that's living paycheck to paycheck, that's 61%, they're stopping, okay? They're going to stop their scroll. They're going to listen. They're going to be like, well, that's me. What does she have to say to me? You know, and then I'm going to relate with it. And I'm going to say, yeah, you guys, like if you're new over here, my name is Victoria. I'm a boy mom. I'm an Army wife. And I spent 7 years in an MLM and we were living paycheck to paycheck. I'm relating with my hook, but I'm also introducing who I am. Okay. And that gets them to stop and listen. All right, and then the last one, consistency is key. The more you go live, the more followers you get. The more followers you get, the more eyes on your videos. All right, next slide, Jared. Hook ideas. Oh, here we go. Screenshot these, y'all. By the way, this is like, I get this question all the time. People are like, well, how do you find your hooks? TikTok, y'all. When I tell you I utilize the search bar, I utilize search bars everywhere. I go on TikTok and I just search trending hooks. And then what's going to happen? You're going to see a lot of videos that are like, hey, these are great hooks to use. Y'all, be resourceful with your resources, okay? So, for example, I remember when. This is a great one. I used this before, like relates to, because this is a great way for you to connect, okay? So for me, I said, I remember when I used to have to cold message and do all the parties just to try to make $7 on a dang mascara with the MLM that I was in. I remember when I remember when my face was glued to my phone with the MLM and I was losing time with my kids, okay? I remember when. Think about it. I remember when I was having to pinch pennies to buy a loaf of bread at the grocery store. Relate with people, okay? Number 2, I went over. Number 3, this might ruffle some feathers, but you don't need to go to college to make a 6-figure income, okay? Why isn't anyone talking about this? That's a hook that I had that went viral where I said, why isn't anybody telling you actually what you need to do to succeed with digital marketing? Okay. Why isn't anyone talking about this? Because we hear people all the time saying, hey guys, do you want to know how to make 900 a day by working 2 hours a day? Comment me, but nobody is telling you how. I want to tell you how. Okay. That's one that I did that went viral. If you want to know how you can make 6 figures, listen up. That's going to get somebody to stop their scroll right now. This is for anyone who tried an MLM and failed. This is for, like, this is how I'm relating, right? Or maybe this is you. This is for anyone who has ever been fired from a job. This is for anyone who has ever had to pick up a second shift. This is for anyone who has ever had to get a second or third job just to try to make ends meet. Y'all, these are like trigger points for people, okay? And this is relatable. These are pain points, all right? This is how you're going to connect. And let's see. If you keep seeing all these people talking about how they're making bank online and you want to know how, listen up. All right? Like, look at these and figure out like hooks that you're going to use. I want you to commit to using these this week. If you have not already done so, I literally just gave you 10 right there to use this week. All right, next slide, Jared. This is my content recipe. This is my secret sauce, y'all. This is exactly what I do when I'm creating content. Take a screenshot of this, okay? So I always start with my hook, and then I introduce myself. Those are my 3 things that I talk about, and then I relate to my hook. Remember, I said, did you know that 61% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck right now? Boom, there's my hook. If you're new, and then I would say, that used to be me. If you are new over here, here's my intro. My name is Victoria. I'm a busy boy mama. I'm an Army wife, and I spent 7 years in an MLM because I wanted to help us get out of living paycheck to paycheck. Relate to hook, right? Explain what you found, okay? So then I would say, I watched this girl talk about how she was making 40 grand in 2 months doing this digital marketing thing, and I was really skeptical, but she said it's not an MLM. She said that I don't need to cold message anybody. She said that I don't need to even tell my friends and family that I'm doing this. And so I started researching, I started looking into this, and then I decided to start my own digital marketing business. And now I only work 2 hours a day from my phone, and I have learned the skills to average 900 a day, close with call to action. If you want to know how I've done it, drop a 1. Okay. And here's your tips for recording. Y'all, please save your questions for the end. I see your question. Please save your questions for the end because I go so squirrel brain. I'm sorry. So tips for recording: record with natural light and space above your head. So with recording with natural light, can y'all see me right now? You guys can see me? Okay. So what you don't see is that it is like rainy and dreary outside. All right. So I almost always will like stand in front of my window. You don't even need a desk, you guys. Look at this. I have you propped up. I moved my nightstand over to my window. Okay, this is how ghetto I am right now. It's because we're moving in a month. I will have a desk again in a month. Anyway, but that's what I'm doing right now, okay? And so if I had natural light, I will always face a window because I don't right now. I just got, hang on, let me flip this around to show you guys. Whoop. I'm taking you off the little holster thing. I got this thing on Amazon for like 10 bucks. Okay. The other light turned off, but it'll turn on. And so it just holds my phone. Okay. I can adjust this. 10 bucks, you guys. I always tell you, turn the lights off behind you. Lights off. And if you don't have natural light, use a light like this and put it in your little thingamabob. And then I'm always recording with space above my head so I can put captions there. 80%, it's like 80, 81% of people actually read captions on your videos. Sometimes you'll see me put it down here. That's only if I'm like replying to a comment or if I didn't leave enough space up here. But I always recommend space up here for captions because think of how people read. They read top to bottom. So it's always better if you have it up there. And I'll go over in another video how to Am I muted? You guys can hear me? Could you hear everything I was saying? No, I was muted.
You were muted for like 1 second. You're good. It was only like 5 seconds. We heard everything.
Okay, good. All right. Can you put the slide back on? All right. Yeah, always say or always use captions. Ooh, this is so stinking important. You guys, if you go and look at the videos that you're creating, when you click on your video, if it says at the top, it says find related content, that means that your video is not discoverable. What it means to be discoverable is if somebody were to go into TikTok and they search digital marketing, that in your video would hop blah. Your video would come up, okay? If you are discoverable, if you are like, oh, what's it called? There's a word for it. I can't think of it. I just keep saying discoverable, whatever. Categorized. Shirley, thank you, my friend. Yes, you would be categorized, okay? So the way to get categorized is to say digital marketing, is to say online business, is to say make money online, things like this. That will get your video to be categorized. So then when people go and search, it's more likely for them to find your video that way, okay? So I recommend saying it minimum 2 times in your video. So I'll say digital marketing, typically in the beginning, and in the end. Sometimes I'll throw it in there somewhere else too. And then I put it in my captions, right? Like down here, and I will always put it in my hashtags. Now I get asked this all the time. Well, Victoria, like, are there trending hashtags? Like, how do I know what hashtags to use and blah, blah, blah. Honestly, like there's not like a secret for hashtags. People will tell you there is. There's really not. There's not, just like there's not a secret for going viral. How many of you have seen videos where people are like, this is the secret to going viral. You need to do da 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 da. You need to like put text on the screen down here and like move it off the screen so that people can like, so it tells TikTok what your videos. No, that's not a secret to going viral. I did that for 9 months and it never made me go viral. You know what I mean? There's no secret. The thing with TikTok is that it's going to push out the videos that it wants to push out. So, but if you're doing those things, then you're more likely to get categorized, which is more helpful for your videos. Another thing, and this is the first time I'm ever mentioning this in my trainings. If you go in the TikTok search bar, search creator search insights. Or no, what is it? Hang on, I'm looking real quick. What did I do? Yeah, creator search insights. What is going to happen there? And then you will click gap. It's going to come up with like a few different options. I think it says like creator gap. It doesn't do it on my computer. Hang on. Creator insights, yes. Creator search insight, and then click gap, and that is going to show you what people are searching right now. It is so awesome because it's going to be like more likely for your videos to push out. Like how many of you, I don't know, there was a time when people were talking about pink dolphins. Like that was all over. I was all over TikTok for some reason, the pink dolphin. I never made a video about it, but I guarantee you, if I were to start a video and I was just like, pink dolphins, do I have your attention? People would be like, oh, this girl's talking about pink dolphins. Like, and my video would come up when people are searching pink dolphins. You know what I mean? But sometimes it'll say social media marketing. And so whenever you see these things come up with creator insight tools, use those words in your video, okay? All right, Jared, next slide. Okay, what content to make before you have made a sale? Use testimonies. Go to school, under classroom, content vault. Y'all, some of the easiest videos are to just be like, you record yourself for a minute, and then you say, like, what do I say? I'm like, hey, you guys, you need to listen to how much my friend Daryl has made since he started his business in January. Check this out. Boom. And then I just show his testimony. And then I would put at the bottom of the screen drop a 1 for info. Okay, something like that. That's a video. You can also, I shared a lot of wins in the community. I would say, you guys, I started this online business and my mind is exploding. Look at what is going on in our community right now. We are walking people through how to make 30K in 90 days and check out these wins. Everybody in here is only following a 2-hour workday. And in one of my videos, I teach you exactly how to screenshot the wins inside the community. Also, pro tip to find the best wins. If you go, hang on, let me try to pull this up over here. I'm going to show you guys how to do this real quick. Okay, if you go into school, can y'all see me? Can you see me? I'm going to show you guys my screen. This, hang on. Okay. Can everybody see this? Yes? We good? Okay. So if you go here, this is the wins page. All right, you said no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna tell you what to do. When you go to the wins page, do you guys see, hang on, this, I'm like trying to hold this. We see this little dot thingamabob? The little dot with dots with 2 lines? Okay, good. Thank you. So if you click that, it's going to say best of this week. Okay, there's pro tip for you. So I like to share the wins that are the best from the week because they're more recent. And so that's a good way to do things. And then, all right, also some of the best videos to create, duets. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, hang on. Before I did duets. Yeah, be excited about what you found and explain how it will help you. Remember, I said, I finally found a way to get out of debt. If you're new here, blah, blah, blah. I'm so-and-so, okay? But then let's talk about duets for a second because I get people all the time that want to duet my videos. And I'm going to tell you, I don't care if you duet my videos. Seriously, I have no issue with it. If somebody has their duets turned on, you're good to duet them. However, it is not going to help your business unless it is a viral video, okay? So don't just duet a video, and I'll explain how to find it. Don't just duet a video if you're like, oh, well, I really like what this person's saying, so I'm gonna duet it. But if their video isn't trending viral, then the likelihood that yours will actually get pushed out is very, very slim. So how do you find trending viral videos? So what I do is I will just go on my FYP and I'll scroll. Remember, I'm only looking for digital marketers. I will scroll, I will scroll, I will scroll, I will scroll until I see one that's on my FYP that has gotten over 100 comments. Not only that, you want to make sure that it is a video that has been created within the last week. Okay? For you page, Stephanie. It's the FYP is for you page on TikTok. You want to make sure that it's been within the last week, over 100 comments, and make sure that those comments are people that are commenting the CTA that is in the video, okay? Because, for example, there was a video of a girl inside of our community who just hit 6 figures. Her video got a ton of interaction, a ton of views, but it was just people inside of the community, okay, that were commenting on it. And so you want people that are commenting with a call to action. So for example, anytime you see me duet a video, it has gone viral. If you go look at the videos I've duetted, so it takes time trying to find one that is trending viral. So yeah, like just be on the lookout for those, I guess. Yeah. Okay, next slide, Jared. All right, this is how you're gonna make a sale this week. So take advantage of the webinars. Y'all, webinars are money. If you are not getting people in the webinar, you are losing money, friend. So the way to find out the webinars is to go into school, click the calendar, okay? And I don't think that there's one posted yet this week, but we have them every single week. We had one, when was it? We had it on Wednesday, maybe? I don't know. So she'll typically, Tuesday, yeah. She'll typically post it like 2 or 3 days in advance. This is why I tell you to check the calendar every single day, because as soon as you see it posted in there, you need to be talking about it. You need to be talking about, like, you guys, if you want on this call, this is going to break it all down for you. You are going to hear from 6 and 7 figure income earners, how they've made 6 and 7 figure incomes. You are going to see inside of our community. You are going to learn about digital marketing and our 2-hour workday, okay? So you need to start talking about it on the every live that you're doing and on every content video that you're creating. So that's one of the fastest ways. Show up every single day doing those 3 things: content, lives, and training. Number 3, record videos that talk about the webinars. Yes. Number 4, talk about the webinars in your live. Send out newsletters. To know how to do this, you're just going to go into school, click classroom, search newsletter, okay? If it doesn't happen this week, rinse and repeat until it does. This is where you need to keep in mind, y'all, that most people are not impulse buyers, okay? We went over this already. I watched for 2 months before I started, okay? So if you get so caught up in your head about, oh, it's been like 2 months and I haven't made a sale yet. Well, keep in mind that a lot of people are watchers. That's why it's so important for you to show up and be consistent, because here's what's going to happen. Because this has happened. It has happened. People throw in the towel, right? And it's why, like, I can never tell you when it's going to happen. Just like if you go and start your own bakery, y'all, I'm on it with cakes today. I have a cake in the fridge. That's why I'm like, I want cake. Okay. But if you go and start a bakery, no, Jared, feed her. I know he's not here. If he was here, he would. But if you were to go and start a bakery and you were to ask, like, your neighbor, hey, do you know when I'm going to get my first customer over here? Like, do you have any idea when somebody's going to come and order a cake for their wedding? No, nobody can tell you that, but they can tell you if you show up to work every day. They can tell you if you start marketing and talking about your bakery. They can tell you if you start, like, going to, I don't know what they call it, like the expos and things like that, and you start, like, offering cake tasting and tasting all these things, right? You're doing the things to put yourself out there. You're gonna end up getting a customer. You know what I mean? So this is why it's so stinking important to show up every single day. Okay, next slide. So this is my question for y'all. We just started the 90-day run. We just started in the community. What? We're on day 3 now, I think, 3 or 4. Yep, inside the community. And we're literally walking you through every single day what to do to start to make 30K in 90 days. You need to understand you have all of the tips, the knowledge, the resources at your fingertips, but you need to have, nobody can give you the CEO mentality. Nobody can give you that. That's on you to create on your own and be self-motivated and driven to make this work. Okay? So how many of you are committing to this? How many of you are committing to doing all 3 things every single day? Because if you are, man, oh man, I am like hyped up to see the wins. And I want you to message me when you get your first sale this week. I'm saying this week. Okay. I want you to message me as soon as you have it, and hear me out. If you message me and it's negative, I can tell you right now, then it's probably a mindset issue, y'all. If you're like, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm not seeing anything, well, I'm telling you right now, it's probably your mindset. Because if you are out there and you are so focused on the sale, that is going to reflect in what you're speaking. It's going to reflect in the content that you're putting out, because that you're going to come off as a salesperson. You know what I mean? And that's why it's so important to be a shares person. This is why I am always so open and transparent in my lives, and I never ever, I call it a sugarcoat Sally. I never ever ever sugarcoat anything, because I want people to understand what it actually takes to succeed here. And it's not hard, you guys, but it takes consistency, and it takes commitment, and it takes you showing up every single day. Okay. So that's my little spiel today. So what I'm going to do is I want y'all to put your questions in the comments. This is just the easiest way to make this like short and sweet for everybody. So ask any questions in the comments. Just remember that I don't know tech. So if you ask any question about GoDaddy or domain or Stripe links or all the things, that's not, I will just redirect you to the community. Okay. So let's see. Oh, Sue, I love that. Be gentle on yourself. You didn't learn to walk in a week. Amen. Yes. Super helpful. I'm so glad. Do you follow the 7-second, 45-second, 60-second? Nope, I don't. Because Tawny, for me, like the way that I look at it is like, I accept that TikTok's just going to push out what they want to push out. However, I will tell you, some of my videos that have done the best lately have been the short ones. They've been like the 5-6 second videos. And so with that, y'all, so what I do is I will go and create a video. So you know how like you click the create, the little plus button to create a TikTok video, okay? I'll select 15 seconds, and then I select add sound. And so typically it's going to be the trending sounds that are going to come up. And so some of the ones that are like 15 seconds long, I mean, I like doing the little voice clips. I'm sure you guys have seen, I do those. Like, I just think they're fun, and TikTok tends to push those out sometimes. So, let's see. I'm looking at questions. Thank you. This was so helpful. You are welcome, Samantha. Do you recommend using promote on TikTok? I never have. I've never promoted a single one. Also, I have a personal account. So I know some people have a business account. I've debated on switching to business. I've seen a lot of success with personal though. So I'm like, the way that I work is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? So it's working for me. But no, I don't use promote. I've never paid for any kind of advertisement. Can you give us an example of how you go to school and use something as content? Jerry, so when you go into school, hang on, I'm gonna pull this up over here. Let's see. So when you click Classroom and you click Content Vault, okay, here's what happens. So, all right, when you click Content Vault, there's a tab for testimonies. So you could click testimonies, and then the videos are all there. You just download the video, or you can screen record the video and use it in your content. Engaging before lives. You engage with the same hashtags every time. I just scroll through. Yeah. I don't search hashtags or anything. I just scroll through. Certain number of videos, or just for 10 minutes. I say just like maybe even 5 minutes. I do like 5 to 10 minutes. I started on May 17th, started using my TikTok account that had no videos. should I start over with a new account? Yes, Richard, I would recommend that, even if like you haven't posted anything on there, because TikTok knows the algorithm, like the videos that you typically watch there. So I would still recommend starting a brand new account. What do I do if I have a TikTok under Facebook, but I don't want to create the second TikTok under Facebook? Giselle, you would just create a TikTok with a different email address. You don't have to link it to Facebook at all. Is the only call we get with you, is this the only call we get with you? No, no, for the 100, no. So those of you that did the buy-in option, okay, so here's what I did. I finally figured out how to do this. I created a customer email list in System.io. And so anybody that is like a customer of mine or that has done the buy-in option, I'm going to email the calls out to y'all every time I do it. So if you did not get the email, you need to like favorite or whitelist my email, or you can add it to like your email contacts to make sure that you get it. Okay. So my email address, Jared, can you put it in the comments? My email address is thatsixfiguremama@victoriasblueprint.com. My Lord, you scared me. Okay, I love you.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. He said hi guys. If I go live, well, when I go live, is it okay to try to speak to other autism moms along with everyone else, of course? Stephanie, for sure. But I like just talk about who you are, right? So I wouldn't necessarily, like when I go live, I'm just speaking to anybody, because the way that TikTok's gonna do it is they're just gonna push your live out. And so it's gonna be like whoever hops on, hops on. So I don't really pinpoint it for my ideal customer. I just talk about who I am and what I relate with. Definitely need a script because I have no idea what to say. Yep, friend, I got you. That's where if you go into school, go to classroom, go to mentoring replays. And the last mentoring replay that I did in there, I believe, was May 2nd. And that's where I kind of go into the script for lives. And I'll go more into detail with that on my next call too. How do you find the voice clips? I just find them when I'm scrolling. Need to confirm where the FYP page is on TikTok. Can you show us? Yeah, well, I mean, I only can on my laptop. I can't do it on my phone when I'm using my phone for the call. But like when you click the home button, you know what I mean? So when you're on TikTok, click the little home button at the bottom, and then at the top, it's going to show following and for you page. That's the FYP. I have just started with a new TikTok account. Do I also include good, perfect customer content? Hang on. Let me reread this. Just started with a new TikTok account. Do I also include? Oh, yeah. So you can do that. But I mean, your videos should be speaking to your ideal customer. So I don't know what you mean by in addition to my videos. My takeaway today, I am probably too calm on my lives and my videos, so I'm not stopping the scrolls. Yep, I feel you, my friend. And you need to understand that comes with time, right? Because when you start to see success with this, it's going to change. It's going to change the way that you speak. It's going to change the way that you are motivated to hop on live, because you're going to know, okay, I'm hopping on here because, and this is what I do. Every time I hop on, I'm like, I know I'm speaking to a future customer every single time I go live. Okay. And so you need to tell yourself that. And guess what's going to happen? Because if you stop going live, it's going to be somebody else's future customer. You know what I mean? Because it's not that they're going to stop being interested. It's that they're going to find somebody else that showed up. But yeah, you will get more comfortable. Your energy will improve the more that you do it. When you engage, can you just like the video or do you need to comment? Roz, you need a comment. I'm so glad you asked this. A comment with 4 words. 4 words every time you comment. Because if you're just doing emojis, like TikTok doesn't see it as like real comments, you know? If I did the grow followers to get to 1,000 that you can go live, how do I get the organic right customers? So is it Zanelle? I hope I'm saying that right, because that's what I did too. I teach people to do the grow lives to get to 1,000 followers so that you can go live within 7 days. Okay. So, and then you're just creating content that speaks to your ideal customers. That's it. So you don't need to worry about that. And I never like remove them. I had like so many weirdos that started following me from the grow lives too. I never removed them, which could be why I have over 100 scammers. I have no idea. How far in the program do you go before starting using TikTok? So all that I recommend is just get set up. Shane, like get everything set up, get your website set up, get your funnel set up, and then go through all of the TikTok training. All of my TikTok training that I said inside of the call today. Go through those videos and then start marketing. Oh, Tani, you mean like, should you comment hashtag FYP? No, I never do. Thank you, Jared. Video hashtags. Do you have a recommendation on how to use hashtags? I don't. And how do you choose hashtags? I don't. I just like, I've been using the same hashtags forever. I don't really see a difference though, like with certain hashtags or not. Like, I think my hashtags are digital marketing tips, social media marketing. Then there's like moms of TikTok, stuff like that. But I don't really focus on the hashtags because like my goal isn't like pushing videos out. May 2nd one was awesome. Yay, Sue. How do we get replays for these trainings? Yep, I email them out. I will send, so it takes time for it to upload. So I'll probably send the replay out this evening. And again, I know how to add on emails in your funnels, but what do you add on? What do you say to make the emails more and the automations go on? What do you mean to make the emails more what? Like to add more emails? I don't know what you mean by that, my friend. To be categorized along with digital marketing, is it okay to include who you are targeting? Hang on. To be categorized along with digital marketing. Oh yeah, absolutely. Retirees needing additional. Yeah, I love that. That's perfect. Just focus on my videos, or am I trying to add more value for my community? I would just focus on the videos. Yep. Do you reply to DMs? I do. I only spend time replying to DMs for my personal customers. This is why, you guys, this is why I do the small group calls to answer questions here. Because I'm telling you, my inbox is flooded. And so it's why I tell you all the time, like, I should be the very, very, very last resort. And you also have to remember, I'm doing this for the 2-hour workday too. Okay. Like, I've got 3 little boys, and right now my mom is here. My 2 nieces are here. And so it's why I try to just do my 2-hour workday and then put my phone down. And like doing these calls, it's not part of my 2-hour workday. I genuinely just want to help you guys succeed. So I just try to answer as many questions here as possible. Is the number of people reached on lives have anything to do with the people that are not clicking to get into the room? What do you mean the room? Number of people, I'm confused by that. Number of people reached on lives have anything to do with the people. Can you rephrase? Sorry. Do you have to have some videos before you go live? So yeah, I recommend it. Oh, you can't. You could go live all the time, but can't get yourself. That's so funny because I feel like it's usually the other way around where people are more comfortable creating content videos and they're not comfortable doing lives. But yeah. You're from South Africa. Awesome. Still not sure who my customer is. Jerry, what are 3 things about you? Your customer is you. Okay? Your customer is you. So think about who you are. I know it's like a lot of self-reflection. But if you were to introduce yourself, you would say, "Hi, my name is Jerry, and I am blah." Like, you're not blah. I'm not saying you're blah, but you know what I mean. You would say, "I am blank, blank, blank." Okay? So should I be following DGC people? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Follow digital marketers. Don't follow your ideal customer. You're welcome, random, but your vibe is like Red Bull addiction. I love that so much. Thank you. It's because of this. Okay, that's why. We appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, good. Janine, the live. What? Hang on. Let me go back to your question. The live is the number of people reached on lives have anything to do with the people that are not clicking to get into? I don't know what you mean by the room. Oh, like, is the live the room? Like clicking to get into the live? So, like what I think I know what you mean. Like when you're scrolling and you just see somebody live, but then you don't click to watch it. Those people don't count. Like you have to click to watch it. I hope that's what you meant. You're welcome, Betsy. Thanks, Levon. Does a live viewer count include the people lurking? No. No, the viewer count does not include people outside. Do I go live more than once per day? No, I don't have time. I don't have time. And that's the thing. It's like, if you want to, you totally can. Like, I know Michelle sometimes will go live multiple times a day. Tim will go live multiple times a day. I've seen Daryl. I've seen Amy. I've seen people like that don't have tiny people like me who will go live multiple times a day. I don't have the time. If I did, I might. To add more emails, what do you say in the add-ons? Like when the emails that Michelle sets up stop, I think after 14. Oh, I don't add on. I mean, you could, I don't know. You could say whatever you want to say. I don't add on though, because my thing is typically like people are purchasing after that or they're not. That's the way that I see it. But I do keep them on my list and I send them out the newsletters. Like, hey, I've got a webinar this week. Like, so that's all that I email out to them. Thank you for taking the time to do this. You are welcome. The more you go live, the more marketing you're doing. Yep. Yay, Sue. I'm glad. Thank you for making your 2-hour workday 3.5 hours today. I love y'all. Of course. Should I unfollow the people I followed through the Grow Trains? No. No. I don't worry about that at all. Are the comments on a live readable after the live ends? No. They're not. Okay, was that everybody? They were for a little bit. Yeah. I think we're good. Do we have more questions? You guys, I hope that this was super, super helpful. Where do you get inspiration to write newsletters to add to your campaign? For me, like, I don't know. They just come to me. Like all that I do, I mean, I have no issue if y'all want to use mine that I send out. Just get on my email list. You can copy and paste it. It doesn't faze me. But yeah, I'm just like, hey guys, I'm teaching y'all how to launch profit. Or I say, I've got a webinar this week, blah, blah, blah. Good. Oh, you guys are so great. Thank you, friends. All right. I'm glad that this was helpful. And I'm hoping the next one will cover, I'll probably do another one in about 2 weeks. Give me some time. My life is like pure chaos right now. So if you guys don't know this, so I mean, like I said, my husband's Army, he's away. We just got notified that the movers are coming to pack before he even gets back. And so like we'll be moving in the next 3 weeks, like less than 4 weeks. And I might be having to do it all solo, at least like with the packing and everything. So just give me grace, please. I'm going to do these as frequently, as often as I can. Let me see. Do you mean you send out custom? Yep, Shirley, I do. I don't use the ones provided. A new home or due to, yeah, it's new home due to the military. It's both. When are your lives? The times? Now they vary. It's just dependent on my kids. So sometimes it's between like 10 and 11 a.m. Eastern time. I'm Eastern time. Or like between 1 and 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for your service, Richard. My brother's Air Force. Do you have to move states? Thankfully, this move is actually only an hour away, which is the reason I'm buying, because so we're currently in North Carolina. This is funny story, so I'm telling you all this real quick. So funny story, because we met, my husband and I met like 13 years ago when I was living in North Carolina. I'm originally from Orlando, but I was living in North Carolina and I was working at the same school that my boys go to right now, which is crazy. I was working in the before and after school program there, and he was based at Fort Bragg, which is like an hour south. And so we met on Christian Mingle, and like we got married at Fort Bragg. And so then we went from like Fort Bragg to Missouri, or no, we went Fort Bragg to Georgia to Missouri to Oregon, and then just moved back here, like to this area, like Cary, Morrisville that we're in. And so then when we were waiting on his like assignment location, we were really thinking, really hoping, I was really hoping for overseas this time. And he's like, he would rather be close to family, which is always a good thing too. So when he called me and told me that we were going back to Bragg, I'm like, this is crazy, because we're going full circle, because I was here and now we're going back there. Like that's where we got married. So I mean, it is what it is. It's cool. And so like with being so close, we're able to drive down and find a house and all the things. So let me see. Good luck with packing. Oh, Tawny, they're gonna come and do it all for me. I just need to keep my kids like out of their way. Do you say when I go live? No, I don't. I just do it. Yep, 7 years. Oh my gosh, my kids are losing their mind downstairs. My poor mama. All right, I need to hop off here and go relieve her. I love you guys. I will send out the replay as soon as I have it. And I will talk to y'all soon. I'll see you on our next training. Bye, friends.